Okay, here's a video for Sarah. So Sarah got in touch. So I often get replies to my emails. I can't get through them. I would just spend my entire life on emails. So what I'm doing is any interesting questions I'm going to then answer in videos and emails and put them into my next videos, into my next emails. So Sarah replied to one of my emails saying she likes my ballsy approach to emails. I cut out the crap and I'll tell you how it is. That's my approach. You've heard it all before, you've read it all before, and you're still not achieving it. So why is that? That's where I come in and I try and smash through these excuses and tell you what's going on. So I replied to Sarah and said, you know, if you could ask me, if you could talk to me for 15 minutes, what would you ask me? So her reply, she said, I think that personally, I know roughly speaking what I should be doing, but I don't do it consistently. Sounds like a lot of people. I eat pretty well throughout the day, but I reach my weak point in the evening, specifically on the way home when I stop at the supermarket and buy crappy stuff like chocolate and cake. So I would want your advice on how to eliminate cravings and stop succumbing to them for sweet stuff and things I could do in place of eating, or at least in place of eating the bad stuff. So that sounds like a lot of you, doesn't it? You're all sitting there going, that sounds like me. Now, without knowing Sarah, it's pretty difficult to know what's going on there. There could be many things. So, I mean, the first thing you'd look at is, are you eating enough? And are you eating the right foods? If you're hungry, you know when you go to the supermarket and you're starving and, oh, everything looks good. You know, I don't know if you've ever done, you know, when you've been doing a low carb diet and you just want to eat everything, even things you don't even like. You just think, oh, feed me, you know. So but when you fill up, go and have a massive healthy meal and then walk into the supermarket. How much less stuff? How much of that stuff looks much less attractive? So the first thing is, are you eating enough of the right stuff? Now that is a very, very, very basic idea of what could be going on. Now remember, willpower is in the conscious part of your brain or mind. That's only 4%. So willpower isn't going to do anything. There's no amount of willpower that's going to stop her buying cake and chocolate at the end of the day. So we've got to look at what's going on as well. You know, is stress causing that? So the amygdala is part of your brain that rapidly recalls emotion. So if she knows that when she's stressed, chocolate and cake makes her feel better, that's instantly fired all the time. I'm stressed, chocolate and cake, bang. No willpower is going to stop that. Nothing at all. Same way if she's not eating enough and her hunger hormones and her leptin and ghrelin are unbalanced, that's going to tell her I'm hungry, feed me. There's no amount of willpower that's going to stop that. So if you're hungry, make sure you're eating, you know, all of the right food regularly, every 2 to 3 hours. It has to be carbs, fats and protein, but make sure they're good. But I can't really go into that in this video, but eating enough. And then what's going on with your amygdala? Have you associated stress with smoking or with alcohol? Oh, I'm stressed, I need a glass of wine. I'm stressed, I need some cake. So that could be the other thing. Is she stressed? So maybe looking at reducing stress there. The other thing is as well, is you've heard me talk about the limbic system. So is there a lot of negative emotions? There are a lot of negative thoughts. Is she negatively charged? And also the prefrontal cortex as well, which translates these emotions into recognisable thought patterns. So if these aren't working properly, you're going to be feeling, you know, quite fuzzy-headed, quite lethargic. Your impulsiveness is going to be very hard to control. You do things and you go, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Once you've eaten the chocolate, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling ashamed. You're like, you know you can do better than this. Why do you keep doing this to yourself? You're so unhappy and you really want to change things, and yet you keep finding yourself doing this. You know, so that impulsiveness, it could be your prefrontal cortex, limbic system, it could be the way you're thinking. Is there self-sabotage in there? Are you you know, this could be a confidence issue. This could be self-esteem. So if you think that you don't deserve to be happy, or you're scared, you may not realise this, but you may have fear of being in better shape. For some of you, your husbands may be insecure. If you get in shape, they will worry that you're going to run off and leave them. It may even be, I've heard of this as well. If you're in an abusive relationship, hopefully Sarah isn't, your husband always accuses you of cheating, you eat more food, you make yourself less desirable and less attractive, because that way you think you won't be accused anymore, because no one would want you. So you've made yourself unattractive, and you feel unattractive, and your self-esteem is on the floor. So that could be another thing. I mean, there's a range of things here that could be going on. So, without going too into detail, without actually speaking to Sarah, I can't know exactly. I'll need to speak to her and maybe we'll arrange a call. But it could even be that you're not clear on your goals. So, if you're watching this and you relate to this, I'm going to give you some steps. These will work for you, but we'd need to kind of narrow down on what is going on exactly. So, the first thing is, you're not clear on your goals. You're not clear on what you want to achieve. How much easier is it? When someone comes to me and they go, right, I've got 8 weeks, I'm getting married in 8 weeks, I'm going on holiday in 8 weeks with my work colleagues and they've got to see me in a bikini, and that makes them feel sick, the pit of their stomach, and they're already thinking of excuses how to get out of it, and they've got 8 weeks until this. You know, how much more are they going to achieve? How much harder are they going to work? How much more committed are they going to be saying, I need to lose 2 stone before I go on this holiday because I don't want to feel disgusting in my bikini and have all my work colleagues look at me because I'm going to feel vulnerable and horrible, and compared to someone that comes to me and says, I want to lose 2 stone. When? Well, I was hoping sort of next year, or I'm going to do it next year, I'm going to do it, yeah, I'll do it this year, I think before, yeah, you know, I'm going to lose weight this year, and then the year goes past. I know I'm going to lose weight this year, you put on an extra stone, the year goes past. Because you've got no goals, you've got no focus, you've got nothing to push yourself towards. Also, I'm going to say to Sarah that she's not in enough pain. If you're not taking action and you keep eating chocolate and cake every day, you're not in enough pain. You're not going to change until you really focus on why you hate being in the situation you're in. Until the pain of staying the same becomes bigger than the pain of change, you will stay the same. If the pain of going to the gym, cutting out sugar, eating healthy seems more painful to you than feeling sort of self-conscious, being unhappy with the way things fit, being unhappy with certain areas of body fat, low confidence, low self-esteem, you know, if you're not stood there looking in the mirror crying because you're so embarrassed about the way you look, you're going to continue to keep eating chocolate because there's nothing to really stop you. So you'll keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that until one day you realise that you've put on a stone or 2 stone, 3 stone, 4 stone, and then you'll hit this real low point. And at that point, that's when you take action. You may already be there without knowing, but so what you need to do is look at what are your goals? What do you want to achieve and why? Why do you want to lose 2 stone or 3 stone? Or whatever you want to do? Why do you want to tone up? Why? What will that do for you? How will that change your life? How will that change your relationships? That's number 1. Number 2 is, what pain are you in right now? What are your biggest frustrations right now? What do you hate the most about your body, about the situation you're in? This is normally when people can get quite tearful. And that's good, because that's going to drive action. Even if you're getting angry at me, anger fuels a lot of action. It's better than doing nothing. It's better than just, yeah. So what is it what's your biggest frustration? What do you hate right now? Is it when you do your presentations and everyone's looking at you, or when you get comments in the street, or when, I don't know, your husband tells you put on weight and you feel like you've just been knifed in the heart? So that's number 2. Number 3 is obviously looking at self-sabotage. I want you to be aware of your thoughts. How do you think during the day? Are they quite negative? What is it exactly that you think about? Do you think that you deserve to be happy? Do you think that you deserve to have the body of your dreams? What's going on with your self-esteem and your confidence? And then, as well, the other thing to look at is it an emotional response? Try and recognise a pattern. When you get stressed, do you then reach for something to eat or alcohol? So try and recognise your thought patterns and the responses you have to certain situations. So the other thing I'd definitely suggest is I'm going to make the assumption that Sarah is quite busy and quite stressed. because these are kind of typically characteristics of someone that is very busy and very stressed. So, do you take enough time out to yourself? Do you do meditation? And I don't mean sat cross-legged with a Buddha and a gong and some incense sticks. I mean literally 10 minutes. Headspace is a really good app. 10 minutes to yourself to just clear your mind and think of nothing. Just 10 minutes. Now the whole day, just 10 minutes devoted to you. That's it. In a quiet room, in the car, in your bedroom, 10 minutes to just clear your head. And yeah, Headspace, for example, is a perfect app. Because what that's going to help with is cooling your limbic system, getting your prefrontal cortex working better, things like that, to be honest, reducing your stress hormones that are likely to be triggering the emotional response, also signaling the storage of fat around your stomach. So there's quite a lot in there today. So if you can relate to this and you're thinking, great, this all sounds great, but I have no idea where to start, this is all quite overwhelming, then fill in an application form for a transformation session. So the link will be below, and it will also appear somewhere around here when the video stops. Fill in an application form for a free transformation session, and I'll look through that, and then I'll get on a call with you, and then we can discuss about how this works for you. And this applies to you, Sarah, as well, because you'll be watching this. Yeah, apply for a free transformation session. Then we can actually discuss this in detail. We can actually give you an action plan to move forward. I will come to you, or one of my staff will come to you, and we will look at your life, everything that's going on, and then build a step-by-step action plan to move you forward. Something that's compelling, that's going to drive you forward. So you know, so you get clarity, and you know what's going on. And it's not just a one-size-fits-all. It's specifically to you, because we come to you and discuss everything we need to. So, sorry about the long video today, but quite a lot to talk about.